Take it to the bank. Without Caitlin Clark, Fever upset Lynx for Commissioner's Cup. $500,000 prize. The Indiana Fever put together their best performance of the season and, in doing so, secured their most impressive win to date, rolling through the Minnesota Lynx, 74-59, in the Commissioner's Cup championship game Tuesday night at the Target Center. The victory comes with a $500,000 payout for the Fever, who have now won 3 of their past 4, though Tuesday's contest does not count towards their regular season record. Caitlin Clark missed her 3rd straight game with a groin injury, but others stepped up for the Fever to get the win. A big night back in Minneapolis for Natasha Howard. There were plenty of key contributors tonight, but how about Natasha Howard, back in Minneapolis where she won a WNBA championship and 2 conference titles in her 2 seasons, 2016-17. The veteran forward went for 16 points on 4 of 10 shooting, 8 for 8 free throws, with 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. She was named the championship game MVP. Howard kickstarted a sputtering Fever offense in the second quarter, assisting on an Ari McDonald layup and a Sophie Cunningham 3 on consecutive possessions to end the 4.5-minute scoring drought. Howard spent the 3rd quarter helping extend the Fever lead, totaling 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting as the margin reached as many as 14. Howard has been very good for the Fever over the past 2 games. She scored 13 points versus Los Angeles, then went for 15 plus 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals in a win over Dallas. Second quarter surge. The Indiana Fever trailed 27-14 less than 2 minutes into the second quarter. They returned to the locker room with a 32-27 halftime lead. The Indiana Fever's physicality on the defensive end helped disrupt the well-oiled machine that is the Minnesota offense, forcing its ball handlers into tough passes, a number of which were picked off, and challenging its shooters on nearly every look, something they struggled with through most of the opening quarter. The Lynx went 0 for 10 from the field over the final 8-13 of the first half, a credit to the Fever, who maintained their defensive intensity throughout. Lexi Hull spoke before the game about the importance of mimicking what the Lynx do offensively, staying patient and finding open looks, and that's exactly what the Fever did, as they methodically chipped away at the 13-point deficit. A 5-point spur comprised of Ari McDonald layup and Sophie Cunningham 3 brought the margin under 10. Then Cunningham worked to draw an offensive foul underneath the basket and promptly drilled a go-ahead 3 on the other end. Indiana's run reached 22-0, then 22-2 through the opening stages of the 3rd quarter. Road Warriors. There were plenty of fans with Caitlin Clark jerseys, but a large number of them were either wearing Lynx jerseys or attending the game with Lynx fans. That's a roundabout way of saying the Lynx fans far outnumbered the number of Fever fans, making for a loud, hostile environment for the visitors, magnifying their early struggles on both ends of the floor. The crowd roared back to life as the Lynx clawed back to within 7 and forced a Fever timeout early in the 4th. Indiana retaliated immediately with 2 baskets by Aliyah Boston and another by McDonald. It was essentially a perfect road game by Indiana, which mounted a response every time the Lynx found any sort of momentum after the opening quarter.